This video is going to be a fully updated Facebook ad strategy for Shopify Dropshipping in 2023. I'm interviewing someone today that does over $20,000 every single day with Facebook ads on a Shopify dropshipping store, and we're going to be asking him the most intense questions there is when it comes to Facebook ads. We're going to be going over his testing strategy, his scaling strategy, and how he hits these crazy figures with his e-commerce store. We're also going to be going over how to go around bans with Facebook, which I know a lot of you guys are struggling with. If you don't already know, Facebook ad has been cracking down on advertisers and dropshippers recently, but we figured out some hacks to go around it. Stay tuned for this video and this interview. It's going to be wild. Watch all the way through to get massive value and hit that subscribe button if you enjoy it. Peace out. Let's go. YouTube video today. We are interviewing a well-known YouTuber in the dropshipping e-commerce space. Eddie, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah, I'm doing really good. Glad to be here. Good to be chatting with you and your community. And yeah,
awesome.
Share some information.
We're about to drop some crazy bombs on Facebook ads. Facebook ads for 2023 is a brand new game than what it was in 2017, right? So Eddie's a professional Facebook ad genius, as we would say, for e-commerce dropshipping. I guess we could start it off with some results, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people, they don't know who to trust today, and they think like Facebook ads is dead, and they don't know like what strategy works. So Eddie, can we show them some results from your store, if possible? Obviously, we don't want to show them your store name and your products, but maybe some results that you've been generating through these strategies.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just pull up my Shopify dashboard for today. Today's not going amazing, but it's still decent. I'll just refresh it for the non-believers.
There we go.
I'm not sure if it's focusing.
I think we can see that. That's $10,000 so far today.
Yeah, should reach hopefully 20. And yesterday it was about 20,000
sales.
We're doing pretty good on this store. This is one of my stores. So
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with how Facebook ads work nowadays.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully I can share some good information for your community.
Cool. So we're gonna ask you questions that my community has, that people have about Facebook ads and dropshipping in a whole, because you're doing insane numbers. First of all, congratulations. Especially today with all the Facebook bans, and like getting around the Facebook algorithm is super, super hard. So I guess we'll touch on that later on in this video. I'm sure a lot of people have those Facebook ban questions. Oh, I got Facebook banned, and what do I do now? Yeah. So we'll go into that a little bit. Let's start with the basics, right? Maybe you want to explain for those people who don't know how Facebook ads works or how dropshipping works. Take us back a little bit and how you got into it and what it's all about.
Sure, yeah. So I started, I think it was about 4 to 5 years ago, and it took me forever to find success, to be honest. I failed so much. I lost so much money. And, I was just watching YouTubers kind of replicating what they were doing. Start with like Instagram shoutouts and stuff like that. I think that's how I got my first sale. Unprofitable, honestly. Spent a ton of money to find the right influencer for that as well, so that didn't work out. So that's how I started, but then eventually got into Facebook ads. When it comes to paid ads, that was the first thing that I tried. I was terrible at it. I spent like $15 first day or something like that. Obviously lost most of it. I think I randomly got a sale. It was a fluke. It was some necklace. It was never going to work. And that's kind of how I started with it. And since then, over the years, I kept going and kept failing, kept getting banned 24/7, just like everybody else. So whoever's watching, do not get discouraged. I know it feels terrible when you get banned. Your page gets banned for no reason. You publish your first ad and all of a sudden you're restricted. That's literally how it works. Everyone's the same. Everyone's going through the same. So don't feel bad. Literally just appeal it. And, there are tons of ways to get out of that. And in terms of how Facebook ads work, I'm sure everybody has a Facebook account. Everybody's scrolling through Facebook and sees ads. Most of them, a lot of them are from dropshippers like me, for example, and other people. And that's basically what I do all day. Literally just live inside the ads manager and run those ads to
fire.
Everybody's moms most of the time. Is the moms that shop on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. Have most of your products, the popular ones, been women products? Have you seen that work better?
They haven't necessarily been women's products, but no matter what I seem to sell, it seems like most of the time it's women. Like even if it's like I'm gonna just pull up an example now, not that I'm selling this, but like a posture corrector. Even then, it seems like it's mostly women that shop online. So, should take that in consideration
Got it.
when you run ads. Kind of tailor your audience to be more catering towards like women. I guess they
Right,
shop more.
right.
They just shop more.
That
That's
makes
how it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the strategy, the testing strategy when it comes to your store, right? People want to start Facebook ads, right? They have a Shopify store, they have a product set up. We'll talk about product research in a second, but what is your go-to testing strategy when it comes to Facebook ads right now in 2023?
So what's been working for me the best lately is I generally start with 7 to 10 ad sets. Each of them have a different interest inside of them. Most of the time, those interests that I choose are have over 1 million or over 5 million, I would even say, people in them. So we want to like advertise to a large audience. Don't overthink interests. Most people do that. Literally, if you're selling a dress, just choose dress, shoes, fashion, women, anything, stuff like that. Because you see that those interests are massive. They have like 50 million people in them. So that means that it's a wide range of people. They're not all interested in shoes. If you choose shoes, they're just interested in maybe clothes, stuff like that. So an interest in each of those ad sets. And then I put 4 to 7 video ads in each of those ad sets. All of them are the same. Not all of the ads are the same. All of this structure goes on for like each ad set is structured exactly the same. The 4 to 7 videos are different, but I copy them in each ad set. That's what I mean when I
Got
say
it.
that they're the same. So it could be like a girl model in the first video, second one guy model, third one I don't know, just music, fourth one text to speech, stuff like that. Like just test different things. I test different ratios as well, like 1 to 1, tall, what is it, 9:16, just like TikTok. I test, so I kind of do different variations because you never know what works.
Right.
And yeah, I end up with like 7 to 10 different interests. All of them have different ads inside them. So I give myself a pretty good chance to find at least one that Facebook likes and sends out to people. And yeah, that's how I test my products.
That's cool. And what budget are you at with those?
Right. Maybe two things I missed. I First of all, one thing that I missed, and then we get to the budget. I test with the top 4 countries: UK,
Mm,
US, Canada, Australia. That's one thing that I missed. And then secondly, $20 a day. I use $20 a day. If your budget is not, if you don't have, I don't know, $20 a day for each ad set,
right.
then just use $10 a day, and it's okay too. I just like going a little faster.
Right, that's true. Cool. So then if they're at $10 a day, they should spend a little more. You got to figure out if it works or
Yeah,
not.
just be a bit more patient, I guess. Yeah, it
Right.
might just take a
Cool.
little longer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're saying ABOs, right? Your seven ad
ABO, no
sets.
CBOs, yeah.
Got you. Love that. Now let's talk about creatives because I know that's you said that you put let's say sometimes four. You said 4 to 6 videos sometimes.
Yeah, 4 to 7
Four to
videos.
seven videos. How are you creating these videos, like, especially with like UGC working right now? Are you sending it to the influencer? Are you chopping it up yourself? What do you recommend?
So for a beginner dropshipper, it's not ethical, but you can find videos online and just put those together and edit your ads just to see if the product works because you got no clue. So
Right.
I wouldn't really recommend that you, make your own custom content for each product that you test because most of them are gonna fail. It's
Right.
just not realistic. It's just gonna waste a lot of time. So first of all, I'd say find videos on the internet of your product, put them together, and then create 4 to 7 ads. That's what I do. And then secondly, if you validated the product and you notice that okay, this works, this is bringing me money, of course invest some more money and then send it out to influencers. You can find them on TikTok. TikTok influencers are really good because they know how to make viral content now. So you can find influencers on TikTok, find their Instagrams, message them. Do that to 200 of them in a day. I don't know. That's what I do.
Right.
I find influencers like that. I have someone to do it for me, but just
Of course.
that's the process. And you source content that way, and then they send you the videos. You put them together. Ideally, you know how to edit videos that are good for Facebook ads or whatever platform you use. I use Facebook. I edit them myself because those influencers are not exactly gonna know how to edit an ad, a paid ad.
Right.
So I get their content, edit it, and then test it. What works works. I scale with that. What doesn't work, whatever. Throw it in the trash. No big deal.
Dude,
It's just how
love
it
it. You
goes.
have a really good system and structure system. I guess that's why your strategy works so well, which is amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that. Let's talk about product selection for a second before we move on to scaling. And if you guys are enjoying this, let us know in the comments below. Eddie is the man. He's got a big community himself. So great stuff. We'll plug his social media at the end of this video so you can learn more from him. But let's talk about the product selection. What do you look for choosing the right product to sell?
Okay. So first of all, I find them in the Facebook ads library. Always look for them where you want to sell them. So if you want to sell on TikTok, obviously look on TikTok. I sell on Facebook. Most of the time I do ads there. So what I'm going to do is go into the Facebook ads library. It's a library that literally shows all the ads that run on Facebook. And then I just search terms such as 50% off, stuff like that dropshippers use, free worldwide shipping, stuff like that. And then a bunch of like dropshipping ads are going to show up. 90% of them are going to be dropshipping, just like you want to do. And I look for products in there that catch my eye and that I can sell for over $30. So it's important to me that I can sell them for over $30 because if they're cheaper than $30, it's going to be quite expensive nowadays to run Facebook ads and be profitable. So for you to be profitable and sell something under $30, it's a little less likely to work. So I'd recommend that you sell for over 30. And then I look for products that generally improve someone's life in some way. Like, you know, it's easier to find customers that have some type of pain, like back pain, and sell them a solution to that. Like those people are way more likely to go on your random Shopify store that they've never seen before because they're in a position where they're looking for a solution, you know, rather than looking for some sunglasses, for example. So I wouldn't pick sunglasses because no one's there looking at your random store thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy sunglasses from this store that I've never seen before that I don't trust. But someone who's in a position where they're like kind of, you know, hurting and they tried so many things and they see an ad that's convincing because, you know, you've done your research, you've found the right influencer, you tested everything, you found that convincing ad. They see that on their Facebook feed and they're like, okay, this seems promising. This is something I haven't tried. I'm gonna buy it. And they go on there and, you know, if it's a good product, then they end up buying it. So always solution oriented because that's what drives impulse purchases. People are kind of desperate to solve their problems, weight loss, stuff like that. You know. Look better, taller, look slimmer, don't have back pain, neck pain, stuff like that. All of these things, they take work. And also make sure that you can mark up your prices for the products that you choose like at least 3 times. So if your product costs $10 to buy and ship, let's say from AliExpress, for example, you don't need to use AliExpress, but you can use it like as a you know, indicator or just to kind of estimate the price. You see it costs $10. If the perceived value of that product is at least $30, then that's another qualification that I go by. If you sell it for just like 2x the price, like $20, you're very unlikely to make profit. So at least mark it up 3x, at least sell it for over $30, minimum $30, and find something that helps someone's life in some way, you know, so they have an easier time making that decision. And another very important thing, because all of these things, besides the prices, whether it helps or not someone's life, it could be subjective. But to kind of cancel your subjectivity, look for something that's already selling for someone else, you know? So if you find a store that's doing really well, got tons of ads, like in the ads library, you can see they got multiple copies of that ad running. So that means they're spending quite a bit of money. You know, it's an indicator that that product might work. You find another guy who's selling the same thing. Okay, obviously there's a pattern. Some people are making some money here. So, you know, that product's also solving problems. It's also being sold by multiple people. They're doing well. You know, you go on their website. Their website's maybe okay, not that good. You could do better. That's kind of the way I look at it. Then I go and test that product. You know, if it fails, it fails. No big deal. I failed a ton of times. It's fine. So that's the way that I look at it.
Wow. I love how you just said, like, I failed many times. It's okay. And just move on. Like, most people would sit on that failure for so long. You're more focused on the winners and then pushing those, which is so huge. You know, like, my record so far is like 45,000 in a single day with e-com, which has been great. Like, I'm 21, did 6 million so far. Like, it's been a really cool journey, but my first year, like, I failed so many times just to learn the process. But instead of just like saying, okay, I failed. Let me just like stay stuck here and not move on. I took those failures, I learned from them, and then I built myself from that. I asked my mentors, I asked my coaches back then, hey, what am I doing wrong? And I started to study really strong stores. And like you were saying, the Facebook ad library, which is huge, right? I started to go into the Facebook ad library and start to see stores that are crushing it and started to see what are they doing that I'm not doing? What can I do to learn from them, right? How can my stores be like them? And that really helped me. I started to realize like my stores look like crap, my ads just don't look appealing. Like I wouldn't buy from this ad, so why would someone else buy from this ad? Sometimes you got to put yourself in your customer's shoes, which I love. You made that point. I love it, love it. Now let's talk about the scaling. Let's say someone launches a product. He does the testing strategy on Facebook, right? And he starts getting a few sales. He's profitable, right? First of all, how does he know if he should scale it up or just like, a dead product, right? He gets a few sales. Let's say he's break even, slightly profitable, one day sales, one day no sales. How does he know if he should move into the scaling phase?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you're testing it, and you don't need to be profitable straight away when you test. For me, it's enough to see some buying intent. If I see some buying intent, like maybe a purchase, some checkout stuff like that, I give it another day or so and duplicate some ad sets, try some new interests as well. A lot of times I'm profitable the first day, but it's not completely necessary. And then if I see that by just trying new audiences and keep going with it, I get consistent sales. That's the scenario that we're focusing on. If it fails, whatever, try the next one. But if it's good, I see I'm getting consistent sales, like a few $100s a day. Let's say around 500, because you do get to 500 if you keep duplicating ad sets and finding new interests every day. You eventually get to like $500 to $1,000 per day from just the first ABO, test ABO. If it's a winning product.
Right.
And if you see that happening, there are multiple ways that you can scale. But what's been working consistently for me lately is, and I know it's a bit unconventional, but it's just I tested so many things that for some reason this just works really well. I take interests that have been doing well for like the last 3 days and keep doing good and are profitable, and I just put them alone in a CBO. So like if the interest dress, for example, for my I don't know, whatever product I'm selling, the interest dress is just consistently getting like, I don't know, 3 ROAS, right? Like it's bringing 3x the money that I'm spending on it every day for like 3 or 4 days or so. That's kind of when I'm deciding to, okay, let's take this interest further. And what's been working the best for me is literally duplicate it in a single ad set CBO. I don't know why, it just works. I duplicated it at $100 in a single ad set CBO, just that one interest alone, and schedule it for the next day. And if that works well the next day, then I leave it one more day because it could be a fluke.
Right.
And then if it keeps going well every day, like the second day, I start bumping up the budget to like 200, 300. And I keep going based on how well it does.
Are
like
you still
performs well?
Are you still keeping the video ads that you had in the first
keeping
place?
everything.
All of them. Got it. Just that ad set that was working.
Yeah, literally as it is. You don't want to change it. Even if there are some bad ads in there, it doesn't matter because Facebook is just not going to spend on them. It's going to focus on the good ads. So it doesn't really matter. You don't need to turn anything off. And I basically just take that in a single ad set CBO. And I just scale it. Like, just take advantage of the fact that Facebook's favoring the ad set and it's bringing good traffic, and just scale that basically every day. I just increase the budget until I feel a resistance,
Right.
And that's what I've been doing. And it's been the most consistent for me, like with multiple stores. That's what I keep doing to reach like 20, 30K days like that. Literally just a few CBOs where I found a few ads, because it's not all of them that work. Some of them are just not going to work in CBOs, and it is what it is. I just keep testing. But then you find those few, like 3 or so. I think I only have like 3, 4, maybe 5 CBOs on the store that I showed earlier. That's scaling over 20K per day, that's like fun. Easily with just that strategy alone. Wow. So yeah. Of course, there are a ton more deeper details, but like that's kind of like what I go by every time I scale a product.
Right, I love that, dude. It's so good how you have like a really good system that works, and these guys are getting gems, which is great. So let's talk about lastly about your AOV. Okay, and then we're gonna go into the bands because everyone wants to know, how do I get around the bands? All right, we want to save the best for last. But how do people raise their average order value? Because I know that's huge, especially when you have competition. You want to get people to spend as much as money on your website as possible, and getting that number as high as possible is a talent. It's a key. It's a strategy. What are something you do that maybe it's in your current store that gets that number up?
Yeah, I do that. I do it in all stores. So first of all, I focus on finding the one product that works, validating that. There's no need to try to increase your AOV before you even get a product that works. First
Right.
of all, just focus on validating a product, getting the one that's bringing the sales and bringing the traffic at the profitable ad spend. And once you find that, then you're like, okay, this product's making me money, and it's again, let's just go with the dress example. That doesn't solve a problem to be honest, but let's just say it's a dress. You're selling a dress profitably, you see that it's working every day. The best way and easiest way to increase your average order value, just add complementary products. So if the dress is working really well, what would work really well with the dress? And then you can add more products to your store, and it doesn't have to be winning products anymore. It doesn't have to be products that others sell. At this point, if you acquire the customer that accepted to buy your dress or whatever your winning product is, posture correct or whatever it is, but let's say it's a dress, if they already accepted to buy a dress, they came to your store, then you can suggest to them other products that work well with someone that would, I don't know, someone that would buy a dress for the summer, they'd probably buy some sunglasses. So add some extra items like that are complementary to the dress, and I'm doing that constantly. It's making me so much extra free money per day that I'm just adding those products. It takes 10 minutes as well to add them to your store because you don't need to give them a crazy description because people don't really look at those extra products. So, for example, to that dress, just add some glasses, sunglasses. Add some shoes, add a scarf, stuff like that. Stuff that makes sense to buy together with the dress.
Are
Something
you
something that people would buy with
Are
the
you
dress.
putting that on like the related products? Are you putting that in the cart page as a bundle they can click and add? How do you get them
So
to add this?
product page, cart page, and then post purchase upsells as well, which is like you can use any app for that, like
Right.
Reconvert, for example. So yeah, I recommend it everywhere to them. I recommend extra products everywhere, so they have a chance to look at them every single time they're on my store, whether they're on the product page or cart page or checkout even. And the post-purchase upsells are kind of the best because they cause no friction. Like people, have already kind of paid for your product. They're at the end right there. They can just, with one more click, just add another product. So that's been working really well. And there, for example, you can even upsell the same dress again. Like maybe they can pick another color and say like, look, buy the same dress but like $20 off or whatever, because you already made profit from the first one. So why not add, even if it's like an extra $10 or $5 of just profit? You already profited from that purchase, right? If you're doing ads well and you're profitable, that's the theory. Yeah, it's really easy with upsells to do that. And then yeah, that's what works the best. And then another thing that people for some reason don't really test out, but when you have a winning product that's doing like a few $1,000s a day, always test higher pricing as well. Like I don't know why people don't do that. The competitors that I kind of find and then test the same products as them, they always stay on the same price. Always. But if I start like I always sell higher than them. But first of all, maybe I'll start at the same price as them, but then I always test higher prices, and most of the time, like 90% of the time, at least 90% of the time, I'm just trying to, not say 100%, but like at least 90% of the time, people are willing to pay an extra $5 or $10. There was a product I increased like 20, 30 or more. I think it was a
Wow.
product that I started selling at like 99. I ended up selling it at like 150 or so, literally just increasing. And then I'm like, oh, it works. And then increase again. Oh, it still works. So it's as simple as that. That's the lowest effort move that you can make. And it's it works so well.
Wow. And are
So
you
yeah.
duplicating the product page, or you
No,
just
no,
just in the
no.
same product
Just
page?
yeah, just same product page. Just add more into the price. I just raise the price a little bit
Right.
and see if it works. If it doesn't work, whatever. I'm used to losing money. I've lost a ton of money in the past. I'm just gonna keep testing. And when you find something that works, like such as the price, cool. Scale more. You're gonna make that money back, whatever you had lost in your test before, like in a day. So
That's true. That's true. One thing I also found that works for AOV is bundles, getting them to buy more than one if the product, can do that. So people buying two, they get like 15% off or $10 off or 20% off. Buy three,
yeah.
buy five, and that gets people to add like huge bundles. We
Hmm.
sometimes also say spend over $50 and get free shipping. We make the product like $39.99, so they
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
buy
yeah.
two. So like there's a few things that you can do there to really raise it up, which is so key to scale, because then it's free money, it's free profit. It allows you to spend more money with ads. Now, last question that everyone has, right? What do you do to get around the bans? What's like a good strategy if, let's say, someone's banned now or they want to avoid it? What would you suggest to them?
Yeah, so that is really difficult. Facebook's banning people left and right, and I know that most people have problems with that. It really depends on the type of ban. All bans can be handled in some way, but it's not all the same. Like for example, let's say your ad account gets banned. That's not a problem. You can just actually just use a separate ad account. But if your page gets banned, for example, that is linked. Like if you're running ads to your website, like right now, and your page gets banned, you cannot make a new page because you like if you make a new page, you're gonna get banned in the next days generally
Right.
because you're running out to the same URL. Then they blacklist your URL. So in that case, what you would have to do is like basically a completely new store, and that's what generally works and kind of like resets it. And Facebook's thinking, oh, it's new business, whatever. Just name the product differently, product description make it different, something like that. That's what works with page bans. Page bans are the most annoying. They really ruin your momentum. Um, More black hat ways. There are some people that can unban pages. I don't know how much you want to talk about that, but it's another solution. It costs a few $1,000s lately. So that's another way if you just want it unbanned. And then if your profile gets banned, that's another annoying one because that means your IP is blacklisted. So if you were to use another product from the same IP, it's gonna get banned pretty soon. So all of these things happen to me. That's how I know.
Right.
So if that's the case, your profile gets banned. Unfortunately, your only choice is, besides unbanning it, if you want to go the black hat way. Besides that, and this is kind of a black hat, I guess, as well. But I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
Just buy profiles from trusted Facebook profile suppliers, run them on proxies. So basically, you run a separate IP, different profile. Make sure it's aged. Make sure it's an old profile, and run ads from there. And that way, you avoid that blacklisted IP
Right.
that you got banned on. So those are a few ways. Obviously, this is a very very complicated
Process. Yeah.
area. Like
Yeah.
I could talk about it for days, but like
Sure.
generally this is what happens, and those are the general solutions to
Right, right,
those
right. What do
problems.
you so what's that, what IP company do you use to change your IP?
Um, Proxy seller. I mean, you use whatever. I don't necessarily want to endorse anyone, but
Right.
I think that's what I'm using lately, and they're okay. But like, you always find problems. Okay, like
Cool.
unless you buy from some super premium, IP provider, proxy provider, then you're gonna run into issues generally. But they've been, the best combination of cheap and quality. So yeah, just buy from there. It's a few dollars,
Cool.
really super cheap.
How does
And then
someone find like Facebook accounts they can purchase?
I work with someone that's in my community that's providing those accounts.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe we'll
and
figure out after the call. Maybe we could leave a link in the below or something, and people can get like information on his packages.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Cool. So we'll leave that in somewhere in the description, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. But awesome. Okay. So you're saying like if someone's banned right now and his profile is banned, you gotta basically get a new IP address, new credit card, right? And probably buy a profile because unless they can get it
Um,
back.
yeah, so unless you get banned in a more black hat way, then yeah, you would have to just appear as a different person because Facebook doesn't want you anymore
Right.
advertising on their platform, right? That's why they banned your profile, not your page, not your ad account, whatever. They literally just banned you. They
You.
don't want you there no more. So you just gotta go around that by being a different person in there. So different IP, different whatever. I've been using the same cards and it's been working. In theory, it shouldn't work. I've been using the same cards as on my banned IPs. I don't know why. It's
It
just
just
working.
works. Interesting. Maybe they took off that
Maybe.
that brand. Interesting, because once when we were scaling our stores, I had like 10 stores at one time. So we had like 10 different IP addresses, 10 different profiles, and 10 different business managers all attached to those, right?
Damn.
And we
Yeah.
had 10 different
That's
credit cards. Like I had 100 credit cards at one point, just like in case one got banned, we had another one to use. Um,
virtual ones. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all virtuals
Yeah.
like Amex. You can call Amex and American Express and get
Yeah.
all these virtual cards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that complicated. Again, guys, like if your profile is banned, many times your IP is banned. Like try to I don't know, use another computer, not in your house, like another location, or you can call your friend, use your mother's, your dad's account. Just don't use your account because you're banned. Don't try to create a new account because you're banned and they're not stupid. But yeah, I would suggest those things. It took me a while to figure this stuff out, but overall, they just don't want you advertising. So of course, try to appeal, try to get to Facebook support and get your account back. If you can't, then those are your options. Wow, there's a lot that goes into Facebook ads, but it's so lucrative once really people dial down the system. It's all about finding the right products, getting the right metrics, and scaling. That's what it really comes down to. Easier said than done. But any last words for those people who are out there testing, trying to make money online? Like, what would you have to say to the people brand new at it? Give them
Sure,
some
yeah. I
motivation.
mean, me and you both have been there. Me and you both have failed a ton of times. I think the most important thing is that you don't get deterred by failure. You don't get discouraged by failure. You stay unfazed. You keep pushing. Don't get scared to lose money. I know it sucks to lose money that you work so hard to earn, but honestly, as soon as you find that first win, believe me, it's gonna make that money back in the day. Like that's how it was for me. As soon as I found that winner, maybe not the first day because I was still a beginner, but now like literally when I find that if I test some products and I don't know lose $1,000 on my way to finding my next win, for example, when I do it literally takes like 1 or 2 days for me to eventually make that thousand back in
Boom.
profit. So that's not because I'm such an expert or so smart or whatever. It's just because I really kept going and I failed like more than most people. I would say I really failed a ton. But as long as you just don't get phased by that, you don't get upset and think, okay, this is not for me, and you keep pushing. Everything great comes after a ton of like hardships and a ton of failures and roadblocks. So if you if you push over that and don't basically fail those tests that I don't know that business model is putting ahead of you, is putting some tests ahead of you. If you just push through that and don't get deterred, then you will just inevitably, right? Like inevitably, you will eventually test that good product. You will inevitably hit that good ad, and it's gonna be all worth. You're gonna make all that money back. So yeah, I guess just never give up. Don't be deterred by failure. That's what I would say to
Like that.
beginners.
Wow, wow, legendary. Where can they find you on social media, YouTube and Instagram? Where can they find you there?
Yeah, so you can put it on the screen because
Yeah.
maybe my name's not too familiar. It's not English, so uh, you can put
How
it
do you
on.
spell it out? Or you know what?
Um,
We're just gonna put it in the description so
ex-
people can
yeah,
check it
description
out.
or I'll
Yeah.
pop it on the screen. It's
All right.
easier.
Cool.
I mean, I can spell it out, but like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
like it's easier
It's
to
just
do.
gonna not. I love it. I'll put
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's that. And then my Discord community, we got more than 10,000 people all interested in e-commerce. It's a really good community. We've grown it in just a few months, and I'm basically teaching people there how to run their own e-commerce stores. And the results we've had, I'm sure you've seen, Sam, but like the results we've had are just ridiculous. Like people have already hit 10 to 20K days
Yep.
from learning we teach on there. So like, yeah, but it's free to join either way. So people can join. Hopefully, you can put a link in the description to that as well.
Of course, of course. I'm in there. It's an awesome community, and appreciate you coming on and dropping the bombs. We will see plenty more of you, and I can't wait to run it up with ecom in 2023 together.